Hello, Sub-Zero here, finishing up the smithing grind on the Ultimate Iron Man free-to-play account. And so I tried a few different ways. In day 10, you saw me going through iron or just base iron, 50% chance at the furnace here. I also looked at superheating iron or steel, and that used up more of the nature runes I had. You also are teleporting around, so it's balanced between the two of those. And I finally went back to Ogress, was getting some kills, some loot, and gathered the rubies that they had. Turned those into rings of foraging. Those come with a big trade-off though. You have your inventory filled with rings. So you can only do, 10 bars at a time. You still have to teleport around, or I was teleporting around for it. So you teleport, but you only make 10 bars. After you do that 14 times, because you can do 140 with each ring, then that gets used up. Now you make 11, then 12, then 13 as you progressively use each ring, so it gets faster. But the initial grind with going to teleporting around, and so like I've got that now. I would run up here, do the smithing, and assemble whatever I would have. If it's 10, you select plate bodies, you'd make 2 of them. But that gets what feels inefficient early on. It is nice because you know exactly how much you need to do. It's 3 rings worth. When 3 rings are consumed, then I'm fine. I got another level. Great. But that becomes very short trips. I'm not sure if that's better, and that's where I think superheat, although it's somewhat a waste of nature runes, if you have excess nature runes, whether you're doing iron or steel, it provides extra flexibility. I think the iron's probably still the fastest, just because the time to go mine the extra coal, come back, you can cycle back through that. But that's the takeaway I have from grinding out quite a few levels of smithing. And so to give that stats here, we've got from 39 smithing to 56 smithing, have unlocked the mining guild, and actually 2 more levels above that. So great progress there. Magic level from all the teleporting around as well. And so it's been a decent amount of progress in one day, and refining the method that's best to use. So really getting that from 39 to 56, that's a hatchet upgrade for me. So definitely helps with the wood cutting when I get back to that. You can get it as a drop, but I think it's in the wilderness. Rather not do that. And here, with the iron, you would have some inefficiencies, and it's not bad when it's 1 or 2 rings, but do you really want to stop your combat grind? Say you had some rubies around, drop all the rest of the stuff, then you come back, you make 2, 3 rings, whatever, then mine it, then switch back. I don't know. That doesn't feel the best path, versus just you get the nature runes, you do superheat, it's still 100% successful with iron, with anything. It saves on inventory space. You can mine the coal and the iron, or coal and myth, or whatever, independently. Provides greater flexibility. In fact, that's how I was doing the hatchets. I would just do a batch of myth. Not that I had to, I only needed the one, but I would do a batch of myth, kind of just because I wanted to see how it compared on speed on a trip, and I thought I knew the results, but wanted to check that anyways. And so this is where you get kind of nice combination with the trade him, please. Thank you. So because it's at 18, I can sell all the items to him directly. So it saves a little bit of space there. So you'll have ones that line up 10, 15, 18. You know. And so not so bad on the number of trips I've run with these rings. But I started out, I had, I think it was 200 charges in my Chronicle, and I'm down to like 126. So I've tried a few different ways, many different times. But let's get that out there. I need iron now. And it's not a ruby. But after this ring's consumed, and then the other one, it's not enough for another level, but the smithing grind is over for a while. So for this, I'll wrap that up with 140 iron on the one ring, and I'm not sure how much is left on the other one, nor does it really matter. It's probably about halfway used up. And then the question is, what do we do next? Is it more combat, stocking up on teleports and nature runes at Ogress or something like that? Get ranged up. That would also help with hit points. You know, you could do long range, get defense up. I don't think that's the best, but it's an option. You do get prayer that way. I did get a prayer level, not quite enough to get the next protect prayer, but only one away now. So I could do melee combat AFK with flesh crawlers. It's great for raising your attack, strength, you know, even hit points and such, but they don't drop any bones. You're not getting prayer XP. I've got a fairly decent open inventory. Is it time to switch to the wood cutting, fire making, fishing, cooking? So I'm at a little bit of a crossroads, and where should I go? All the quests are completed, and I have more to level and unlock, sure, but smithing is the most beneficial skill I have, because as I mentioned the armor before, and the hatchet upgrades, that's some of the otherwise I have a steel hatchet, so doing myth, even if it's just taking one nature rune, making one, then getting the hatchet, still an upgrade. You know, that's also true for Addy and Rune, but that's considerably further away, and I don't particularly want to do that right now. To keep doing superheat, I would need more nature runes. I could train that at Ogress and get some nature runes. Also out that the rune items they drop for cash. That's also why I have the odd combination of gear. I was focusing on range. I didn't want to give up the rune helm. I needed the inventory slot, and I dropped the bow to swap for holding the pickaxe. So sorry about my outfit for the trial with the Rings of Forging run, so. Also, if you do superheat, then there's certain spots that are in proximity to the ore and the anvils. You know, you can potentially drop the items, but you don't need to teleport around like I'm doing here. That makes it considerably faster too. And I think you can get on tick or very close to it, kind of where you do superheat or superheat or superheat or rotation like that. Sorry, to clarify that, superheat or mine it, superheat or mine it, you do a back and forth rotation, I think, puts you on pace for it. I'm not one for prayer flicking and tick manipulation, so if I'm wrong, you know, please let me know, but it seems like you might be able to do something like that with it, to time it, or to improve the consistency. But I don't know. Okay, so that's got 81 and 140, so low over 200 to go. Not bad. Sorry, that's a number of inventories to go through, sure, but when I started out with one equipped and I think it was 9 others in the inventory, and to rotate through that, it took considerably longer to use up 200 ore, just because of the more limited inventory, so. There we go. Yeah, and so with 80, it's 18 at a time, low over 4 trips. They go pretty quick too. It's quick, but the XP is not. I think smithing's gonna be the main grind for a lot of this account. And yes, I realize that my prayer is considerably lower than the smithing level I have. It's where I started my smithing level, yes. But you kill basically anything and you get bones to start with. They might not be big bones, but you get bones to start with. You just bury any that pop up, and you keep doing that, and you get there. The smithing, I don't know. Sorry, it's a little hard to explain, but it's a very specific mindset you kind of have to get into. Or it feels that way, at least. Because it's not hard to do. It's You teleport one way, you cross over there, you then mine, teleport again, teleport after you smelt the bars, sell them off same place, and get back to mining. I don't think there's a lot of reason to level mining, although it was kind of nice. A shooting star landed right here, and so I was like, I'll take it. I'll take that as an opportunity. You know, doesn't really help me that much, but it's mining, so took that up. I also looked at trying to silver, crafting. For inventory, sorry. You can do symbols or you can do tiaras. Tiaras are slightly higher than symbols for crafting XP. If I recall, it's 50 versus 52.5 or something along those lines. So that is nice. You don't make the money. You do get some smithing XP from making the silver bars. You get crafting up and mining. Mining, that's going to go up with runecraft as well. So again, not worried about the mining stat. But is that a good alternative if you have, say, more limited inventory? You turn those into bars and then symbols or tiaras, and then that way you get crafting up as well. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I don't have time for a game. I'm busy here. Yeah, so I looked at a few different ways, primarily focusing on iron to get smithing. Superheat does seem to be the best overall, especially if you're focusing with iron and the 50% loss. It also gives you flexibility for steel or higher level ones to not be so concerned with inventory management. These silver ones, because you craft them into the tiaras or amulets, you save on the teleports to the anvil, but basically you mine it here. You have to that's the other thing that with mining silver that is annoying. I know there's a slight delay on the respawn here, but more or less you're mining the iron continuously, where it's such a long time for the silver that you end up rotating through probably three worlds, maybe 4 worlds, to keep mining even a 3 rock rotation like they have here. And so when you do that, you still have to go to a furnace, probably teleport to Falador. That way you can use the furnace right nearby the teleport. You can sell the stuff to the general store. It doesn't really sell for much, but you can do that. It clears out an inventory in one go. I suppose you can drop this stuff too. I see others as they travel back. Basically you're using Chronicle teleport to Falador, Chronicle, teleport back. So you use up a lot less law runes than what I'm doing right now with the iron ore, where it's you mine, you go to Falador, then you go to Varrock, then teleport to the mine. And so you use 2 law runes each time. So you use a lot less law runes. You get crafting XP, less smithing XP, but you do get smithing XP. Mining, smithing, and crafting for less law runes. I don't know. If I had to go back after this one's wrapped up, that might be where I would kind of rotate into that. So instead of the hammer, you just have the mold. You stay here for 2 cycles, sell off the items up here. You know, basically zoom out a little and, you know, find the merchant up there. Yeah, and it is 100% success rate, so you don't have the issues with RNG when you try and do an iron haul, and you're like, oh, I got 10 that run, or I got 13, or I might have got 4, because that's fantastic. It's like, no, I'm just going back to mine and getting a full inventory again at that point. So yeah, that's the update for the progress on smithing grind. It's gonna take me to 56. I don't have enough charges to get me to the next level. It'll be close, and that's why coming back and rotating through silver might be a viable option, because even if I have a slightly smaller inventory, if I just want to do it for a relatively short time and get some crafting levels or something else, that would be a way. Similar like with mining, you wouldn't say that mining rune essence for rune crafting is the way to train mining. It's not, but it does give you mining XP. And so mining the silver is less effective than mining the iron here. But you just go to the furnace, select it, go through an entire inventory. Then once that's done, you go through with the bars and make the symbols or the tiaras. So in that sense, it's more, you get a downtime, some period there to take a break. You do have to switch worlds though to keep doing that, so. Whereas right now I don't have to switch worlds. It's not a huge deal, you just run into a lot more people doing the same thing, competing for resources, and depending on the mood for the day, that can be very annoying when you're like, come on, there's some overlap here, I can't find any silver ore. I mean, that can happen with iron too, but it seems to be less likely, so. Okay, 9 more charges on that, so this is, yep, the last trip for that ring, and then we'll start switching over to the other one. So, what's next? My combat skills are not all at 60 yet, so I could raise attack and defense to get those to 60. Prayer is considerably lower, but like I said, I'd probably do that with ranged with Ogress. My fishing and cooking are substantially higher than woodcut and fire making, so I could... Oh, Ring of Forging ran out. That's why it's delayed there. There we go, so now I'll have a larger inventory on that next one, but it does kind of mess up the cycle as I have 19 now instead of 18. I'd like to see the prayer go higher. Not that I use a lot of the overhead prayers anyways, but just having them would be nice. Crafting is a little bit low compared to the other ones, so... Oh, I messed up on this one. I was thinking it was 19. No, that's the next one. This one, I still have the 18. Oh well. So yeah, 3 bars. I'm like, why didn't that go off twice? Because I had 3 bars. I was thinking I had 4. So we'll just get rid of those there. But yeah, we're on the last Ring of Forging. Ogress aren't bad drops. I don't necessarily need a lot of the cash or any of that now, or at least not immediately. That would help with prayer. There is one skill I've been putting off, similar to smithing, and that's rune crafting. That is a walking simulator, or at least for the Earth altar. But I do have a slight plan for that. So that's with the Skull Scepter. I should be able to do body runes, if I'm not mistaken, there. And that should be a slightly shorter route. And then I can teleport to Varrock Center, mine at the site. Then I don't need to leave the Essence Mine. I can just teleport out with the Skull Scepter. So... I would need to get the body talisman, or turn it into a tiara, to save the inventory slot to do that. But that would be new knowledge, if that's ideal. I have, I think that's full. So 162 trips. And then, yeah, I can always... Actually... What do I try and do? Sell the stuff? I haven't even made it yet. There we go. Let's make the stuff first. Sorry, got distracted there, guys. So... I can walk to the Earth altar, then teleport back, go to the mine. That would save a little bit, but I would still have to walk all the way to the Earth altar to begin with. If I use the teleports here, that takes me directly to the just outside Barbarian Village. The body altar is just northwest of that, if I recall correctly. So I see that as using either you use one law rune teleport back to Varrock instead of walking back and forth, which is fine for wasting time for low levels, but as you get higher, it's like, it's not really great, and especially as you have more resources, like from killing Ogress as an example, or you get the fragments from, in my case, flesh crawlers in the Stronghold of Security, or Security Stronghold, whichever one it is. I think that's the plan for that, but I'd still like to gather more items to do that as a more sustained trip. Now, I hate saying that, but almost 200 trips seems... It seems like plenty, but I was surprised by the smithing, how many trips I did to get 56 smithing. And of course it slows way down as you start to progress those levels. So 37 is not bad, but by the time I hit 42, yeah, that's gonna take a while. Then from 42 to 49. I was a little bit fast there. I thought I had it going through. So. I thought the sound was playing when I brought the menu up, but I mean, I guess it played after, but it didn't make the item. What it kind of keeps coming back to is I need to get more nature runes. I need more law runes. Not that I don't have an okay amount for what I've been doing, but getting more of those That's going to help with high alk, that's going to help with superheat. It's just provides a lot of extra flexibility. Same thing with the law runes. For example, the mining right now, I use 2 law runes for that. But, you know, I could switch to silver, you just use one, or it could be runecraft, then you teleport back to Varrock after you've made that. You know, that extra flexibility is great, but it comes with a price, and that's you have to reacquire the items, which can take a while depending on your RNG. So yeah, going back to Ogress, you get law runes, you get nature runes, you get cash by alking the items. Also gives me big bones to ultimately get prayer up. Yes, plus if I was to go to flesh crawlers to get more of the bone fragments, I would probably want to melee and have my myth kite shield back, which is a drop from Ogress. And so if I take out Ogress warriors, then not only could I make some profit along the way alking the items, it's also going to give me the one I need. I think it's like a 1 in 40 drop, so it's not terrible to get. $74 charges left. Okay. So 4 trips. Yeah, because then that would give me protect from missile with another prayer level. And then ultimately protect from melee. So more ranged combat, it's looking like that facilitates some of the other stuff, although I could raise smithing by doing the crafting, like I said with these previously with the silver. If that raised it high enough, long enough, that could get me Addy hatchet. Then that would it's probably not worth it. It's kind of diminishing returns as you go higher up, where it's like, oh, you go from a 15% chance to get a log from the tree. Then you're like, oh, I'm gonna go from steel to myth. It's a 20% chance it's to hit a tree. You're like, that's still only 1 in 5. Yeah, but it's a third improvement from where you were before. So it's still significantly faster, even though the per hit number is low. Is there any benefit from, so like raising prayer, raising combat, you get more hit points, you become less likely to take damage, all good things. Not that I expect to get hit, but you know, having some extra protection or increased health, not bad. That's incentive to raise the combat even if it's ranged, get prayer up. Smithing, slow, tedious, sure, but it ultimately is some of the best armor and weapons that I can get. So very long time to get there, but that could make sense. How do I... This is the struggle in my head, like how do I justify rune crafting? Because for rune crafting, it's like air, mine, water, sure. Earth can do that. All the rest, members. So like, you got fire runes, body runes, and that's it. So body runes, being level 20 and by Barbarian Village might be a good fit. But then it's like multiple runes. So earth, 2 of them already. 52, I get 3 earth runes. So that's nice. I don't know. It's just, oh, you make 10 air runes per essence. Sure. But they're not very expensive. Oh, did I... Sorry, I got off track here. Opening up the guide, I think, stopped the animation. Or sorry, guide. Whatever the top left thing's called. Get multiple runes, but I can just buy thousands of like fire runes at a time, or air, or earth. So we got a silver rotation going on now. Hey, another UIM going through here. It's like, oh, silver's out, even though it's like respawning now. That's why I was like, you need 3 or sometimes more worlds to rotate through. But yeah, figuring out what to do next. What's the most useful thing I can do, even if it's kind of slow. Is that prayer? Magic has additional spells, but I got kind of big ones. You've got High Alk, Superheat, the teleports. So I think it said this was the last full load. Then the next one will be partial, so we'll see where it ends up. Hey Orion Snake, how you doing? I think this is the last... Is this the last rotation? Yeah, this is the last rotation for smithing. I'm good. I made a lot of progress here. Went from 39 smithing to 56. When it doubles, the XP you need doubles every 7 levels. That's a lot of progress. I mean, again, still nowhere close to the end game stuff, but lots of progress. Then it's just trying to figure out what's the most beneficial. Do I want to keep leveling smithing indirectly by mining silver and getting crafting XP? My crafting is only 51, but then my prayer is lower than that, so that's the cycle it starts to go through. Is, oh, well, I could raise prayer, that's my lowest. Oh, no, wait, it isn't. Runecraft is. And, I don't really see a lot of benefit from leveling rune crafting now. It's not that I won't do it. It's just what's the benefit? With the smithing level increases, I can make better hatchets and other stuff that I can't buy from shopkeeps. Okay, makes sense. But like, what does that for rune offer with rune essence? And it's like, oh, you can make more runes. Yeah, but I can also get a lot more cash and the 3 GP a rune. So, oh, you got 10. Now you have, you know, you spent the same amount of cost and you got 10 times the runes. Fantastic, but it's like, it's still not a money issue. And I don't unlock any new altars from what I understand. Body is the highest for free to play. Okay, Ring of Forging melted. We're on our own now. There we go. Can I get another one? Ooh. Well, that's fine. It puts me on par with 3 plates and a chainmail. But yeah, so that, you just witnessed the last of the smithing grind for a little while. So smithing is complete, made a lot of progress. The question's just where now? The numbers can keep going up, but do I want a little more relaxing session, a break, maybe do some wood cutting and fire making? Do you do combat? Do you do could seek some cooking and fly fishing might be good for that. I have the inventory space right now, and I can drop the other runes out. Those are low enough. That's going to give more space. I can equip that. Yeah, that might actually be a good rotation. Is getting some fishing up. I do enjoy that. Yeah, exactly. I do enjoy that. At least for a little while. And that allows me a little bit of extra time. Wood cutting, fire making, fishing, and cooking. That's kind of like my default go-tos. You can do that with 10 inventory spaces. You can do it with 20. And it's less efficient with 10, sure, but you can just kind of take a break whenever and like just do a little bit of that. I don't really unlock anything new. It just I have 500,000 in fishing and 635k in cooking, so that might be where we go for that. The fire's not far away, so even the gear I have is not bad, although I can get rid of that. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do is rotate into that fishing for right now. Anyways, Ryan Snake, so for right now, that's where I'll be wrapping up, but I hope to catch you next time, either with Ultimate Iron Man free-to-play here, or on IC with those big gains with Eliwick and the deck of many things. So, yeah, thanks for stopping by. I know it was a little bit later, but I appreciate that. And you gotta see it finished up. No more Rings of Foraging done. My ring slot is empty for right now. And inventory cleared. It's nice to have 100% success with the iron, but having your inventory filled with rings when you're trying to make iron bars is not a great feeling. So you never run out of things to do. It's just how much more do you want to do the thing you're doing currently or the rest. But yeah, like I said, I'm wrapping up here, and so thanks Orion for stopping by, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks.